What is up, everybody? Welcome back to AKS Golf. Recently, we've done a lot of driver reviews and testing, and I've gotten a ton of questions from y'all asking about, workouts and lifts that I do, and just exercises in general that I do for rotational power and just club head speed in general. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to cover. Hopefully, this can act as like a mini blueprint for you guys to hopefully gain a little bit of club speed this year on the course. So first of all, I want to say thank you guys so much for the support you guys have shown, the comments that you guys leave. I read them all. That's kind of why I'm making this video. So I really do appreciate the support and the feedback that you guys have given me. With that being said, getting into today's video, I want to start off by being fully transparent with my background. So I was a 5-year college baseball player at Canisius College in Buffalo, New York, and Shepherd University in West Virginia. So I know a little bit about moving efficiently and how to get the most out of your body. With that being said, I will say I've never had a golf lesson of any kind, and I've never, sat down and kind of learned the proper mechanics of a golf swing. So while I can't say that this video is going to help you strike the ball better or have a better face angle, I will say as a pitcher in college, a lot of our lifts were rotational power based or just, hip mobility and really just using our lower half to generate as much power as we could into then the pitch, but now for this video, the golf ball. So everything that I go over in today's video should translate really well to the golf swing and more importantly to the golf course. So real quick before we get into it, there's going to be 3 sections that I go over in today's video. 1 is going to be mobility and flexibility, 2 is going to be moving fast and powerful, and 3 is going to be being intentional with everything that we do from a practice standpoint. And I'm going to go in that order. We're starting with mobility and flexibility. Here we go. So this might sound crazy, but mobility and flexibility would be the one area that I would stress the importance of more than the other 2. I think a lot of the time people want to get bigger, faster, stronger, and that's awesome. It's definitely important, but if you aren't flexible or mobile enough to get into the positions of power that you need to get into, the strength part of it really doesn't matter as much. So my advice would always make sure you're stretching for a good 10 to 20 minutes, even longer if you can, on the days that you lift, and even better if you can do it on the days where you don't do anything. For example, March Madness is on right now, so maybe, hey, for 15 minutes, get off the couch, get off the chair, whatever you're on, stretch for a little bit. I promise that if you do that consistently, all that little 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, that'll add up and you will see gains. Now, I'm a huge advocate for hip and trunk mobility, so now I'm gonna go over my kind of warm-up routine. This can also be a cool-down routine if you've just completed a workout. I did this probably 2 or 3 times a week in college as a pitcher. So we start out here. It's called the scorpion, I believe. So we're gonna get down like this. Hopefully y'all can see me. Get down like this. We're gonna spread our arms out and we're gonna bring one leg to our opposite hand. Kind of like that. We're just gonna kind of continually do it for a little bit. And then if you can, kind of bring it with your hand a little bit if you can. And with this, make sure you're keeping that opposite shoulder, so for me, my left shoulder, on the ground. So you can do that for a little bit. You can go faster, slower, that's totally up to you. Then we would get into the hip mobility part of it. So I always like to start, with this one. Start like this. You can, lean back, that'll make it easier. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can lean up, and we're gonna slowly transition from one side to the other. Slowly, make sure you feel it in your hips, feel them loosening up a little bit. A little bit to either side. I knew guys that were really good at this that would spread out all the way, and they would do it so slow, and my hip would cramp if I tried to do that. That's what I always start with. Then I start with the rockers. So spread out a little this way. I'll show you this way a little bit. We're gonna be pretty, square the whole way. It's not out like that. It's not in like that. Pretty straight up and down, 90-degree angle. And we're just gonna push our hips forward over that front toe. Make sure our heel stays on the ground. See my heel starting to come up a little bit now. So that's where I kind of got to cap it off. We're just pushing it forward. And make sure you're holding that position for a little bit of time. A few seconds each side. Now I would always do multiple sets of all these just for time's sake. I'm not gonna go through that right now. That's one thing I would do for sure. I always loved that one. Then all the catchers should be really good at this. If you were ever a catcher in baseball at a decently high level, you should be good at this one. So we're gonna start, I'm sure you've done this before. I mean, it's as simple as this. And we're gonna kind of get down as wide as we can, hopefully, and just kind of rock back like that. And then we'll switch. And that's about it. And then the last one right here would be one I always forget the name of. I always do. I'm not gonna remember it right now either, am I? No, I'm not, but it's fine. We're gonna lean our front leg like that. We're gonna have our back leg behind us, and we're gonna go down and slowly come up. Go down and slowly come up. Hopefully you can get your leg to kind of a perpendicular to the camera now. But if not, you can have it back a little bit, that's fine too. Just down and slowly come up. Really feel it throughout the hip. There's one more I gotta show you, it's on that wall. We'll do that now. Alrighty, so for this one, all we need to do is we need to find a wall and a little bit of room that we can go out from. So we're gonna put our feet up pretty 90-degree angle. We're gonna stick something about this width between our legs or between our knees, and we're just gonna slowly turn one foot out from the wall while the other one stays on the wall, as wide as you can. It's gonna cramp if you go too far. That's just part of the game. This one's gonna be really, really good for hip mobility. I had a little bit of time, I think it was my junior year, where I really struggled with my hip mobility. That was a big goal area for me. And I did this, every day for about a half hour in the trainer's room, and eventually that became one of my strengths. So I swear by that one. Now that's just what I do. There are a ton of other good hip mobility and just stretches in general out there. So if you know a personal trainer or a strength coach or something like that, I'm sure they have a ton of other good ones for you. But if you don't really have a direction that you're going, that's a good little starter stretching session right there for you. Last talking point for section 1 here is gonna be how beneficial I think yoga can be to any athlete. It gets your body in positions that you're just not used to being in, and it can be really beneficial when it comes to staying healthy, staying on the field, or staying on the golf course, and just prevention of injuries rather than treating them after they happen. I think it's especially good for sports that specifically need to use their hips and their trunk to rotate well. So for golfers and even baseball players, I would highly recommend doing yoga a couple times a week, if not more. I know at every level of college baseball that I played, we did yoga at least twice a week. Not only was it one of our favorite days, but it was super helpful to us as well. So now we're gonna move on to section 2, being fast and powerful. So if you look at me, I'm 6'1", 180 pounds on a really, really good day, probably closer to 175. So I'm not turning any heads when I walk into the gym. However, every lift I do, even if it's not with the most impressive weight, I do as fast and as powerfully as I possibly can. So I'll go over a few exercises and lifts that I really like for people trying to increase their rotational power. Starting with, if there was one piece of equipment that I would tell everybody to get who wants to increase that rotational power, it would be hands down a medicine ball, kind of like this one. There's so many different exercises that you can do with these guys that promote rotating well while staying on balance while still being powerful, and that's the trifecta right there. So now I'm gonna go over a little med ball circuit that I think is really good for golfers and rotational athletes in general. I'm not gonna give you a specific set or rep number, but my general guideline there would be once you feel yourself slowing down in your reps, call it quits there. Now that's specific to kind of the speed training, med ball aspect of things. If you're going through a normal routine, normal lift in the gym, when you start to slow down, that is not when you should stop, that's when you should push yourself. But we're going for speed training here. I don't want us ever training our bodies to be slower than normal. So if you ever feel yourself slowing down, I would say quit there. And another cool thing about the med ball is that all you need is a wall like this one. So we'll start with these ones right here. These are some of my favorite ones that we did in my pitching days. You start square to the wall, and all you're doing is just rotating back as quick as you can, firing, and that's it. You're just going back and forth. That's about it. You're doing, I would always do, 8 to 12 reps a side, depending on, my energy level for the day. That's where kind of my whoop would help me out a little bit there. But yeah, it's that simple for that one. The next one would be you're turned this way, so your shoulders facing the wall, you're sideways to the wall, and you start here. You bring it back like this, and you kind of like use the force. Think about like the force where you kind of push like that, or water bending, I think is what it's called, where you kind of push it like that. And that's all it is. It's that motion. It's starting here and it's just kind of, that's it. So that one's gonna be really good for rotational power, especially for golfers. That's probably the most golfer-like or golf swing-like exercise that you'll see today. And then obviously you gotta go to the other side too. Make sure you're training both sides. Don't just do the side that you swing a golf club from. It's gonna look a little goofy. It's not gonna feel natural, but you gotta do it. Oh, I hate doing it from that way. Now another really good one for rotational power specifically, and this is probably my favorite one because all you need is a med ball in the ground. That's it. You start here, and I'm sure if you're a pitcher and you've played in college, maybe even high school, you have done this so many times. And you wind up, and you go like that, and then you go to the other side. And that's it, and you're doing it full effort, you know, full effort for all of these. So it would look something like this for me. So you're going, you know, full bore at it. I want you moving as fast as you can. We're not training our bodies to be slow. If you want to gain speed, you got to move fast. So yeah, I love my med ball exercises. Those are 3 of my go-tos right there. But there are other exercises that I love as far as rotational power goes that are not med ball. We'll go over 3 or 4 of those now. We're going to start with this one. I actually got it from an MLB player that I used to train with. So if you have a problem with this one, you have a problem with the Mets, which is not the worst thing in the world. I sometimes have a problem with the Mets myself as a Yankees fan. So we're gonna start here. And like I said, it doesn't matter how much weight you use. That's not what it's about speed. I have 45 on here now, and we're gonna, you know, split our legs like that. The weight, or the hand that our weight is in, that leg should go back. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna push up as our legs kind of switch and then go back, and that's it. And then of course, like we've been doing the whole time, we're gonna go to the other side, do a couple there. That's it for that one. So another one that I like that I'm kind of mad I didn't learn about until my 5th year playing college baseball. That's the first time I ever did it. I wish I had it my whole career. This one's gonna be pretty easy. It's gonna look complicated, but it's really not. You're gonna have the barbell, the end of it kind of right off your back foot. You're gonna grab it with your opposite hand, for me, my right hand, and we're just gonna push up, and when we get to about here, we're gonna switch and put our left hand on it and rotate up. Whoa. Maybe I should have put a little less weight on there, but hopefully we'll do a 1 or 2 fast and controlled. Something like that. Then of course, as you know, always do the other side. Oh. Ooh. Lost balance a little bit there. Maybe I've lost a step since I graduated. I definitely have lost a step since I graduated, but that's another one that I really like. All right, so one of my all-time favorite lifts, probably my favorite lift that I did in my playing days, just because I was, you know, that was my best lift, was the deadlift on the trap bar specifically. But one of my favorite lifts for just explosiveness in general is gonna be banded deadlifts. Guys, they don't have to be heavy. Like max, I go up to 315, like absolute max. But basically, you put a band underneath your feet here, you step on it, you figure out a way to rig it over the sides. It helps if you have just kind of a big circle band, and that makes it real easy. I had to rig something up here, but you're gonna go down and you are gonna absolutely explode up. You're gonna feel like if you weren't with a bar right now, you'd jump up. So it's gonna be absolutely as fast as you can. And that's it, just absolutely exploding up as fast as you can. I don't like to do more than kind of 8 reps on these usually. I usually find that with these, I tend to slow down faster than some other exercises. So unless I'm feeling really good, I usually don't go over 8 reps on these. But yeah, I like to go, 135 for maybe a warm-up set, then I go 225 for a few working sets, then I go to 315 for usually 1 or 2, then I drop right back down to 225 for my last set. That's usually it. And And then the last one here is gonna be a little bit more slow and controlled. It's gonna be really helpful for kind of creating that balance as well as the rotational power. It's gonna be a variation of a row. So you're gonna get down like this. You're gonna get your dumbbell. And I will say with this one, you might be able to row the 150s. Don't go that heavy. Don't go that heavy. Make sure you're slow and controlled here. It's just gonna be a lot more beneficial that way. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna, obviously, the hand that you are not rowing with is gonna stay on the bar, and then the opposite, or on the bench, and then the opposite leg is gonna stay planted on that bench kind of like this, and then the other leg, so the same one that's on the bench, is gonna go out like that. You're gonna pull this down there like that, and you're just gonna row. And this is only, this is only 40 pounds. I wouldn't go over, like I personally would not go over 60 with this. Obviously you might be stronger. It's probably a pretty high chance you are, but I wouldn't go over 60 for this because then I feel like, I'm starting to fall over and I really just got to correct myself. And that's not what the point of the drill is. The point of that lift is to stay on balance while you're doing something, rotation based. So yeah, these are a few of my favorite lifts that I do in the gym 2 to 3 times a week to maintain and hopefully increase my, my rotational power. These are also the ones that I would recommend to y'all if you're looking to get more powerful and just faster in general. Moving on to section 3, being intentional with every movement. Now this section is gonna be a little bit different. I don't have any specific movements or lifts that I'm gonna recommend. And it's gonna cover more of the mental and the mindset kind of thing. Now this is gonna sound very elementary, but if you're looking to gain speed, swing and practice with the intention of being faster than normal. Obviously, if you're in the gym, you're gonna be pushing yourself, but even on the range, when you're swinging a golf club, be intentional about trying to swing faster and see if there's an extra gear in there somewhere that you haven't found before. If you have access to a launch monitor to kind of officially track that, that's awesome. But if not, you probably have a good idea of what your normal is as far as swing speed, as far as distances, all that type of stuff. So like I said, make sure when you're practicing, you're looking down deep inside yourself to try and find that extra oomph, extra something to get a little bit more than you did the day before. And if you do that, I would almost guarantee that you will be shocked at how much more you have to give on a daily basis. Now I have to preface this last suggestion by saying I am in no way, shape, or form affiliated with them. I am getting absolutely nothing from suggesting this, but my last suggestion would be trying a system kind of like the Stack. I'm currently on my 4th or 5th session of it, and I really am seeing some benefits already. For those of you who don't know, Stack is a swing speed trainer used by a ton of professional golfers out there. Basically, it's a stick or a club that you kind of put different weights on the end based on the app. It'll tell you what weights to put on there, and you just swing it a bunch of times, as many times as they tell you. You're kind of overtraining your muscles and your body, so when you have that, you go back to your original driver, you gain club speed and in turn distance on the course. And if you're a baseball guy, it's kind of like the donut that you put on your bat in the on-deck circle. I'm not even halfway through my Stack progression, and I've already seen jumps of 3 to 4 miles an hour in my club head speed, going from 124 to 125 when I was really going after it, to 128, 129. I even hit 130 a couple times last week. So I'm really seeing the results that I wasn't skeptical about it, but I really just kind of wanted to see for myself. Side note, if y'all want a full-length review of the Stack system in general, as a totality, once I'm done with it, make sure to let me know in the comments and I can make that happen. So to wrap up, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for all the comments, all the questions to make this video, because I never would have made it if it wasn't for you guys. If you have any questions in the future about any of my past videos I've made, this video, anything, any videos you want me to make in the future, make sure you guys let me know. I read all the comments. I make sure to do my best to respond to all of them. And if there's a video that a bunch of you guys want me to make, I will make sure that I make it. Now, as far as my next few videos, I'm waiting on a couple clubs currently to come in, a driver, a driving iron, and a wedge. Once they come in, I will be doing a full what's in the bag from driver to putter, including golf ball, towel, shoes, glove, all that good stuff. And then we'll also be doing a 10K driver head-to-head, where we put 4 of the 5 10K MOI drivers that are out on the market against each other in a video kind of like the LS and the core model video that'll be linked down below. And we'll be doing that style of video with the most forgiving heads of the year. So hopefully we'll be getting you right going into the season for 2025. And I should knock on wood for saying this, but I believe in a couple weeks the weather should be consistently nice enough to golf outside. So we will be bringing you, matches outside, just on-course content in general. And I'm going to leak my own video here, but I am going to be hopefully bringing you guys a video in the next couple months with the Savannah Bananas organization. So make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button down below. You're not going to want to miss any of that. But yeah, that's about all I got for you today. Like I said, if you have any questions about today's video, lifts, stretches, golf in general, baseball in general, make sure to let me know in the comments. I will do my best to answer absolutely all of them. But yeah, that's about all I got for you. God bless. Until next time, peace out.